My name is Janet Alalade. I'm the creative director for Daisy Jane Cakes and More. I'm also the initiator for Ekiti Event Vendors. It's a platform for entrepreneurs in Ekiti State. I'm a baker, I'm an event service provider, and I also love to help young entrepreneurs get better in their business. Well, I'll say it's a personal, will I say, experience or a personal desire. I relocated to Ekiti State in 2015. I realized that they had a whole lot of creative entrepreneurs here, but the character, the attitude towards business, their market was not reaching a larger audience. So I decided that okay, I can do something because I have this motto in my mind that when you move to a new environment, it's either the environment influences you or you influence the environment. So I decided to influence the environment that I moved into, and then I said, okay, let me create a platform for them where I can educate them, where I can help them make their business better. I can help them, brand their business to a world standard and do business in a world-class standard way so that they can reach a larger audience. That was what prompted me to start Ekiti Event Vendors Conference and Ekiti Event Vendors platform. It's a 60-40 percentage send. In the older generation, in those days, they will tell a woman that she can't do some certain things. They always think that the place of a woman is just in the house, just to like help the husband, give birth to children, take care of the house, take care of the children, and their capacity was limited, to like express themselves. But in this age and generation that we have now, women are actually given that platform, to thrive in business. I know that there are still some parts of the country that are still trying to come to the terms that women are supposed to be in the space of business, but yes, women are now thriving in our generation now in the place of business. The first important thing is to educate the people, the women, the girl child, to organize seminars, campaigns, rallies, and of course, I think for me I overthink sometimes. I feel that for every family that has, will I say, majority of female children, there should be a place where they get to teach them karate, martial arts, so that they can have a self-defense class if peradventure something like that wants to happen to them. And one thing I would like to also include is that most times we always organize rallies for women, educating the women, putting the girl children together, and telling them that when a man wants to do this, don't let a man touch you here, or don't let a man do this, or telling them signs to look out for. For me, I feel it's also important. The government should provide security surveillance for areas where they know that there's a high rate of sexual abuse. I've been a baker. I mentioned earlier that I'm a baker. I've been a baker for about 10 years now, going to 11 years. And I would say one thing I always like to, beat my chest, just give a pat to myself on the back is I've been able to relaunch my businesses in different locations because, of course, since I got married, I've been relocating. I've been able to start my business all over again, and God has helped me to, let the business thrive in every state I find myself, to get new customers, to go into the environment and, to, let's say, to penetrate the market in the new environment that I find myself, and to get new customers to patronize me. And of course, in the space of 10 years, I'll boldly say that I've been able to train about 50 students or more. Some are online, some are actually physical students that attended classes. And in the midst of that, I realized that I don't like seeing, a young lady going around doing nothing. I like to help them, and then that has helped made me help some people to learn the baking business. Some of them came to learn confectionaries, and they are doing very well. I can boldly say that they are doing very well in their businesses wherever they are right now. And yes, I also take joy in the Ekiti event vendors platform that I started, the initiative I started when I moved to Ekiti State. The first conference ever that I organized, I was first scared because I didn't know anybody here, and I just said, okay, I'm going to do this. I had to, put myself together. I did the first conference, and yes, I'm grateful that I had over 300 people in attendance. And from that conference, the testimonies, or will I say the feedback, was that a couple of people started new businesses. A couple of people rebranded their businesses. A couple of people went for, professional trainings outside of Ekiti State just to get better in their business. I don't know, sometimes, maybe my personal experience meeting some women, sometimes I realize that I'll meet a lady that is into something that I know that she does, and we get to maybe a gathering, and when everybody is talking and saying, oh, I am into this, I'm into that, some of them will just keep quiet, and I'll be like, don't you sell this? And the person will like, oh yes, and I'm like, what is stopping you from opening your mouth to express what you do? Aren't you proud of what you do as a woman? So I'll say that I would like to say that for this particular reason, I think sometimes it has to do with the personality of that particular woman. And but in this generation that we have now, I know that women are getting so unrelentless about pushing their business out there. On social media, you see a big business page, it's owned by a woman. You check on the news or Google, you see women doing great things. So I would say that yes, they are trying to, market themselves properly. Mama Woshika, Ibukwa Woshika. The reason is, I followed her success story, how she started a furniture business, and how she was able to grow the business, of course the challenges and all of that. And the second person is Taraduro Toye. I love the fact that she's a well-structured businesswoman. I follow her closely. I've done some of her online live classes, and I realized that she's so particular about structure. And I took her as a role model because, of course, for every business that you have in Nigeria, structure is one of the things that can help that business to thrive. The third person is Moabudu. I got to know her about 4 years ago, and something struck me about her was that she it's not like she just sprouted all of a sudden. She's been doing on the groundwork. But one thing I really loved about her, notice one thing about her, that she's a very good collaborator. She knows how to get the right people to collaborate with. The major thing for me is power supply. There are so many times, you need power supply to work, to get your industrial equipment rolling. Sometimes you don't have the capacity, the financial capacity to buy a gen that powers it. And then, of course, eventually you have to run the gen that powers the smaller equipment, and that slows down the process of production sometimes. And the second thing is the funding aspect. There are sometimes that a business idea comes up, and that for this business idea to fly and to thrive, you need enough funds. But sometimes you don't get to access that particular fund that you need. You might have to eventually say, okay, let me save up for this. But the truth is, by the time you start saving up for it, you just realize that maybe that particular year, that business idea, somebody has picked it up, or you might not fly like when it was still boiling in you. So funding has been one of the major challenges for me as an entrepreneur. And there are sometimes you want to put some products out there in the market for consumers, and you need funding, to be able to produce, to package, of course, to do your NAFDAC registration, for every process of anything that has to do with consuming food items, or the consumables. And of course, the other thing is the government policies. Nigeria is very blessed. Today the president or the government in quotes will come up with a policy Another time they'll just say, okay, there's a reform, they've reformed the policy for entrepreneurs or for something, and it doesn't always come to favor you most times as an entrepreneur. Because the truth is, sometimes doing business in Nigeria is a very powerful thing. I doff my hat for every successful entrepreneur in Nigeria, because sometimes when they come with that policy, even you as an entrepreneur, you've not been able to successfully pay yourself salary in a consistent manner. And then they now come up with, oh, you have to pay taxes, you have to do this, you have to do that, and you just realize that, okay, how do you want to be able to afford all of this for, as an entrepreneur? So those are my major challenges. And then the last one is the right staff. The new location that I am right now, it's always been a challenge to get the right staff, the right people to work with you for a long time, the right people that that have like passion, that can share the same passion with you and the drive. So when you're working, it becomes faster. That's been the major challenge. So the manpower is sometimes low. I want to do some large productions. I have to, I can't take so much orders. I have to take it one step at a time. But I know that if I have the right staffing, the right people to work with me, things will be a lot more easier and better. I, Janet Alalade, when I die, I want to be remembered as a woman who spoke above or whisper. And I am for generation equality.